Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Woo, woo, woo. I have been running, almost running for my life. I was supposed to do this Married to Medicine review last night. I want to apologize. My grandson came over around 9:30 and he said, "Can I spend the night with you?" And I never turned down an opportunity to let my grandbabies spend the night, especially my older grandbabies, because pretty soon they'll be in high school and they'll be in middle school and high school, and I won't get to spend that time with them. So I always appreciate those moments. And then, child, he has had his granny running around this evening. We done been to Best Buy. We done went to his dad's and picked up shoes. We have been around the world and yeah. Trust me. Woo, so I finally get a moment. Finally got a moment to relax. I have my Married to Medicine review ready, and we're going to get into it. This past week's episode of Married to Medicine was the finale. Next week, we will see, or this coming Sunday, we will actually see the reunion. Luckily, they're only going to give us a two-part reunion, which I am all game for. I think those three-part reunions are just way too much. So we're going to get a two-part reunion. Hopefully, they'll hit it and quit it. That's all. That's what I'm praying for. Hit it and quit it. Good evening, living for me. Thank you for joining the live. Good evening, Lady Roy and chat. Come in, y'all. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hey, Symmetry. Good evening, Lady Roy mods and chat. I really appreciate you guys coming in and joining me for this live. We're gonna get on over into it, but first we got to get some pleasantries out of the way. Um, I'm going to invoke the fair use because we're going to use some things. We're going to do some illustrations today. Fair use disclaimer: some material in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. It is cold in this house. It was hot. I cut the air conditioner on, and now it is cold, like really cold. Because it was like 78 degrees. I am literally freezing. I am cold. Hopefully, my husband will get up and cut the air down. I mean, up because it is cold in here. All views expressed in this live, they are all alleged. They're in my opinion, and they're all for entertainment purposes. We're just down here to have a good time, do some commentary, a little bit of criticism. Yeah, we're gonna the rest of it, we just gonna have us a good laugh because I believe this episode was laughable. And I believe it was really laughable, like not kind of, but really laughable, because I believe some people forget where they have come from, what they have put the others through. And even though the gala turned out to be, I really think there was room for improvement and opportunity to learn. And not sure if anyone learned anything. I think that all of the hey, you did a good job just caused Toya to be just a little bit more prideful than what she already was. And I think they should have taken that opportunity to educate her, not only educate her husband. I think she has a better idea of what it looks like to um, put on a gala, but I still think that her husband is far removed from it. And one of the things, hey Queen Script, thanks for joining. One of the things I want to remind everybody is I'm gonna show you exactly what this look like. I know Symmetry's been to a gazillion galas. I've been to a few in my lifetime, but I think that I'm not sure if Toya or Eugene frequent galas or if they've ever gone to them. They probably go places where they pay a price and they get in. I'm not sure, but it just seems like they didn't really understand what a gala was. Wonder how many tickets they actually sold. Did they get sponsorship? Now Toya did say that she said she sold $10,000 worth of tickets. She did say that. She said that when they first got to the venue, I believe. Hey, that's me, AD. Glad you joined us. Queen Script was waving at me. You said the food. Exactly. That was another thing I wanted to talk about was the food. Serving people fruit balls in little cups and chicken wings from Wingstop does not constitute a gala. It just does not. And we're gonna go that. The room was beautiful. The decorations were amazing. The art was beautiful. If you take that, the artistry and all the things, I'm not sure what else there may have actually been a meal. We just may not have been privy to see that meal because what we saw looked like hors d'oeuvres. I'm sorry, but that's what it looked. I wouldn't think that they would serve people chicken wings, but child, they had some chicken wings out there. Do you hear me? Good evening, Pretty Riri Speaks. Thanks for joining. What was the budget? That's another thing. There was no budget. We're gonna talk about that as well. It doesn't seem like there was a budget. Seemed like they said everybody get $2,500 a piece, and we're just gonna go with that. And so I don't think I just don't think they understand a lot of what goes into forming a 501c3, making sure that you have all of the things in place that you need, and so on and so forth. But we're gonna talk about all that, I promise you. Queen Script says she never said the budget, did she? She never gave a budget. Never gave a budget. Symmetry. Never gave a budget. Literally, never gave a budget. I want to share something really fast, and then we're gonna get into this episode. I just pulled this up. This is some random gala that I got off of Eventbrite, and I just wanted you to see what this is. This is going to take place in April. General admission is $53.98 for this. This includes one bar drink ticket and I guess full access to the event, the cocktail reception, dinner, and entertainment. Right, complimentary $1,000 casino cash for this $53.98. Okay, but if you move on down, it says VIP 7708. You enjoy special perks such as premium seating, VIP cocktail reception, and exclusive gifts, including open bar, top shelf, complimentary $1,000 casino cash. Then it has groups, right? Group, which is what you would do to normally in a gala. You would have a table. So someone would pay for a table, includes table for six, full event, dinner, entertainment, six bar tickets, one per guest, $233.02. So I want to use as an example because normally when you go to a gala, if it's sponsored, let's say, because this is something me and my girlfriends do. Let's say we buy a table. Tables are normally 6 to 8 tops, right? So it means 6 people or 8 people can sit at a table. We would normally, let's say it's $1,000 table. We'll divide that among 6 people. Let's say I'll take 2 tickets. I'll pay for my 2 tickets, and every so on and so forth until we have our table full. And I believe that's the way they should have done. Now, they said they were at Jackie's table. Now, I have a text message that said Jackie did not purchase a table, and I will show that. In fact, let me pull it up because I don't think I pulled it into my thingamajiggies. Because there was a big argument online. Let me see if this is it. Here it is. I'm gonna pull it in so we can see it. So they said they were guests of Jackie's is the wording that they use. Is the Mimi and I'm talking about Mimi and it's Steve. But Toya said that Jackie did not. She said she did not purchase a table. Give me 1 second. Child, my phone is saying, I am sick of you. I am sick of you, girl. You have done way too much today. You have overworked me, and I do not want to help you no more today. But yeah, I believe this episode was I think there should have been some education given. I really believe that it just wasn't enough education that was given to the group or to the collective rather. And I really, hey, sad baby doll, I thought that it was on poor taste from for doctors and especially for Eugene. I'm gonna take y'all back down memory lane for 1 second. I was gonna try to pull this into my um it's not letting me do it right now. Oh, let me delete something real quick and see if I can add it back in later. I'll delete this. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't mean to have the dead space. Here we go. So Toya said that Jackie did not purchase a ticket. And let's see. It says Jackie tells us all if they were her guest of honor, why she didn't give them tickets. Mimi is in the group chat. She knows what was said. They wanted out Jackie, made them guest of honor. So why no smoke for Jackie about the tickets? The other couch lacks authority. I don't know what this person was really trying to say, but chat, they didn't make a whole lot of English. And Toya Bush says, at whoever, Jackie did not purchase a table or sell tickets. But remember when they were in where were they at? Jamaica. And Heavenly was talking to Jackie, and she said, how many tickets you done sold? BITCH. And didn't Jackie say one? There is that. So I'm not sure. They did say Heavenly had bought 10 tickets. So I'm not Heavenly, I'm sorry. Simone had purchased 10 tickets, but we're going to get on into that. I thought on that level, the invitation lets you know you will have to donate. If you cannot, don't go. When you go to a gala, instructions are normally given, like, right? You already have the venue, but we know that they did not get the notice of where the venue was until 48 hours before the event. But let's go back a little bit in time. I want to take you back just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. And where do I want to start us at? Let's start here.
We gonna have. Well, I brought us some wine because I literally was on with Kendall Jackson Winery.
This is season 10. This is the first Met Gala they ever had when they asked Toya to give $1,000.
And I was trying to get them to ship, about 30 cases for the Med Gala party. But I feel unappreciated. I also don't feel like I need to pay what everyone else is paying. For me to pay $1,000 and bring cases of wine is silly. The financial response.
No one asked you to bring cases of wine. This is something you wanted to do on your own. They asked you for $1,000.
Responsibility of putting on the Met Gala was divvied up amongst the ladies, and depending on how many business logos each of us wanted placed on the step and repeat, would dictate how much money you get.
Ladies Collective isn't just going to a charity, correct? It's going to finance the party. If $40 wine,
55.
Here he goes, stepping his big behind in the women's business again.
Plus.
Okay, just say just $40 wine times 3 cases, that is a little over $1,400.
The wine that she has her name on, that little pyramid scheme they were doing with the wine where she was white label or whatever they were doing, was not top shelf wine. It was that stuff you get at the store for $8.95. So we're not going to pretend that Toya was giving us some really nice, expensive wine somewhere.
That's the same thing. So instead of Toya giving you $1,000, she's going to procure, nice doctor word, $1,400. It doesn't matter.
But it did matter. And it is a repeat they've done, but they had an issue with Steve and Mimi doing it. They had an issue with Steve and Mimi coming. The likeliness of Steve and Mimi purchasing something else at the gala was a big probability. But the probability of the Harrises doing something else is slim to none. We saw Mimi and Steve last gala come in. They said they didn't have a ticket last year, but spend $5,000 on a bowl. But you don't think they would buy some art. They were not going to contribute to your party because you did not include them in it, but they were going to come and donate to the cause. And I think that's what everybody is missing. Let's move forward a little bit. I want to play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to get into the review.
Paid your money for it or not. The point is, you brought something that they didn't have to pay for themselves.
It doesn't matter to me whether she pays the
It
money
does
or
because
not.
you're not having my back, and you should be.
She wanted Simone to have her back off of her wrong. She was definitely wrong. They needed seed money to get this thing rolling, and she wanted to give them wine, and she did not give them any money.
Because what oh my God, I take them to Napa. They're in amazing accommodation.
Look at you, John, over there raising his hand. He just answered to get into women's business. Just gotta say something, cause I think he feels like Toya is not good communication. She doesn't explain herself. I just think he doesn't trust her when it comes down to business. So he jumps in to try to save the day because he knows Toya's dead wrong, and so is he.
Then they turn around and they go to amazing wineries for free.
We all went to Napa, and the entire group supported Toya. And not only did they support Toya, they were not on the group complaining. Not putting up the cash is not being a team player. Everybody doesn't drink wine. Everybody loves cash.
And I totally agree with that. We're gonna get on into the episode. I really believe this was an opportunity, like I said, to learn, but I don't think that anybody learned anything from this at all. Like no kind of learning. And that's me. AD said he loved getting into the women's business. He absolutely adores it. It probably blesses his heart just to be able to get into the women's business. But let's move on into the episode. Married to Medicine, season 12, episode number 14. The Med Gala Mishaps was the title of this episode. Excuse me. The episode opens up with Contessa in her Sprinter van, and she's giving someone an injection of ketamine. Ketamine is actually used to put dogs to sleep, but they do use it for pain relief and mild anesthesia. So maybe that's what she was using it for. She was giving somebody a shot of ketamine. She put a eye mask on their eyes and told them she was gonna let them rest. And they laid on back in that Sprinter van. And this is Sprinter van we've been seeing her driving around. So I don't know if she's doing mobile medical stuff. I'm not sure what that is, but I would love to have known more about it. And she may have told us more, and they just did not film it. Next, we move over to Toya and Dr. Eugene's home, where Toya is about to start dinner, and she asks Eugene, "Is there something you want in particular?" And he's doing something on the computer, and he says no. And she goes, "Chicken fingers and fries it is." And he goes, "No." And so we see her knock Nita Silver over to the stairs. Next, we go to Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon's home, where Heavenly is putting something in the microwave. And she tells Dr. Damon to go wash his hands. And he says, "You don't have to tell me to wash my hands." And Heavenly said, "I'm going to start talking to you like Toya talks to Eugene. Go wash your funky hands." Dr. Damon smiles and he says, "Okay, okay." He walks off to wash his hands. Next, we see Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone at a picnic table. I'm not sure if they're at the back of a hospital or her office, but we see them at a picnic table. They both say that they're tired and that when they go on vacation, they only return to more work. And that is true in the medical profession. If you don't have someone doing your work while you're gone, when you return, your work is there. There's just 29 years of it. I'm telling you, it's there. It does not. Is there wait? All those emails are waiting for you to return them when you get back to work. So I definitely understand. And she said, and I put in notes, the life in the medical field. They talk about Toya and Eugene doing a great job on the couples trip. They did talk about how the last day of the couples trip was a little bit odd, but overall, they said that they did a great job. Simone tells Jackie that Curtis gave King the business when he said King and Quad's house wasn't in order, and that maybe they were unable to get pregnant because of that. And Jackie said she didn't know anything about it until they were headed to the airport, and she overheard Curtis talking to Steve about the situation. She had to tell Curtis that he was wrong. Just look at their circumstances. She said, "We did everything right, and I still was unable to get pregnant. So we can't say that, that's the reason why that they didn't get pregnant. And I think Jackie's being very cautious about what she's saying, since that thing about black women and their pain levels not being, since that comment surfaced. I think she's just being cautious about what she lets come out of her mouth. And I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that's a good thing for Dr. Jackie to do. Um, Jackie said she called Quad as soon as she found out, and she told her, um, she let her know that she and Curtis wanted to meet with her and King separately and, talk to them and apologize. Simone said she didn't know how this would go because Quad isn't very forgiving, but neither is Dr. Simone. So she is not the one to talk. Anywho, Jackie said, do we need to have a prayer service? After she said that. Because Quad does hold things, but I think Quad really respects Dr. Jackie and she has no qualms with Dr. Jackie. Whereas Simone, there is an issue there. So I really think that that's a whole different ball game. Simone's always interjecting as well, even projecting. I ain't gonna say interject. She's always projecting. Jackie then said, Jackie then says that isn't the only mess. How about I got out of surgery to over 100 and something messages, text messages. And she said, we have to protect the integrity of the Med Gala. Because remember, at the end of the day, Jackie's name, Dr. Jackie's name, is riding on this Med Gala. This is her baby. This is something that she instituted. Remember, she used to have the breast cancer. They would run, and I don't know whatever happened to that thing that she did with the breast cancer, but it looks like she's moving into the Met Gala. And the Met Gala really is a good concept. I just think that they need some organization. And instead of getting Toya to chairperson it, they should have hired an event planner. They should have done all the things, because to have a 501c3, there's some strict rules you have to go by. You have to have a board. You have to have a tax person, a registered agent. There are just so many things. And I really feel like Toya probably made herself the registered agent, probably made herself the president, because you have, it goes down president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and she probably filled in all the boxes with herself and Jackie. I'm almost positive. You said Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are vital. They are very vital. They are very vital because these are women who are serving other women. We need them. They really need someone over that pay. I'm telling you, Queen Script, if they don't have someone over that paperwork, when come tax season, they're going to pay for it. I promise you that, because you need someone to keep good records. Good records. You said minutes and receipts. Exactly. You got to have it. These people want to know, giving you a tax break. Why are we giving you a tax break? You got a nonprofit. Prove to us that you're doing something that that's non-profitable, that you're giving back. Even if you can pay someone in your nonprofit, you still have to prove that you deserve to have that nonprofit. I like when they get along. I do too. I literally like it when they get along, but it's not very often that we see them getting along. So it's kind of hard to say that. You know what I'm saying? So back over when they're sitting at the picnic table, Jackie said, we got to protect the integrity of the original Met Gala. Jackie said she told Toya that it was going to go left with that we are the founders, right? And I said in my notes, I put, Jackie, what you said was, I think we got to include all the girls. You didn't say, Toya, you got to take this off. I think at that moment, she should have put her foot down and said, Toya, you got to remove this, and you got to put all of the women, because you just started being active in this. But these women have been here from the beginning. I understand that you have gotten the 501c3 done, which you could pay someone to do your 501c3. And here's the good thing, though. If they pay someone to do their 501c3, then that probably is their registered agent and the person who would do their taxes. But they still have to keep records, keep good books, keep those receipts, turn in the things to make sure that they're getting the third at the end of the day, that all those people listed as founders and the people on it, they are not held responsible at the end of the tax season. Oh, hey, living for me, welcome back, welcome back. And that's what I put in my notes. Jack, you got to put your foot down on Toya. Simone said during the text thread, Toya talked about correcting that, and she shared the picture of Toya and Jackie that she took down. I said, baby, this is a mess. Toya refused to add Brandy, Angel, and Mimi, but she still wanted them to donate to the scholarship fund, which is asinine. You cannot say that I cannot be part of this Med Gala that's moving forward, but you want my money. And why wasn't Mimi? Because Mimi, this is her second year. This is the third Met Gala. Why wasn't she included in this? I can understand Angel and Brandon. This is their first year on the show, but Mimi was there last year. So why wasn't she included? Because she actually was instrumental last year, whereas Toya was standing back. Anywho, moving forward. Um, Dr. Jackie explained that they decided to give money to medical students that can't quite afford the debt. Simone said, "You have to figure out how to be inclusive." Simone said that there was no reason she couldn't have gotten Steve and Mimi's full financial support. And I totally agree. I believe that Toya went about this so bullheaded that she ran them off when it came down to money. And then Simone says they paid $5,000 last year for a glass bowl. And Jackie said, "Oh, it was a ashtray." They was they was having them a good kid. They discussed the rolling back of DEI and how it affects the underprivileged. And there is nothing you can do with Toya once she makes up her mind. Jackie started praying. She said, "Yes, Lord, please show up and show out and muffle some mouths, maybe even Curtis." I thought that prayer was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. We go over to the Sanders home. We see Mimi in the kitchen cooking some spaghetti. And she asked Steve, "Do you put sugar in your spaghetti?" And Steve was like, "No, I'm putting no sugar in my spaghetti." That was a cute little scene. Um, Stevie's sitting in the living room on the couch, and little Stevie sitting in his lap. I don't know if Stevie gets anxious when the cameras are present, or what was actually going on. But we saw him sitting in his father's lap, and he wasn't trying to get out of his dad's lap. He was just playing around. Mimi says she's very uncomfortable in the kitchen, and then she tells Steve that she's going to start cooking more in their new home. And Steve says they're building a new home, and then they show us the home. Mimi says this will be their dream home. It will be 5 bedrooms, and it's over 8,500 square feet. They then discussed the schools, the kids' schooling. They said they wanted to keep them in the same schools and keeping Stevie in his current school and supplemented with intense ABA therapy twice a week. Then Mimi and Steve tell us that they put Stevie in speech therapy and his behavior had improved. Mimi said they can go to the grocery store and pass the toy aisle without Stevie having a meltdown. Stevie is also improving with his behavior with his sister. I'm glad to hear that one. I love to see therapy working. I'm being honest with you. It doesn't matter what the therapy is. I love to see therapy working. I love to see people who actually put in the work, are able to put in the work, and are able to get back to some type of normalcy when they do therapy. Let me get Dr. Jackie there. Let's chat. We ain't talking about her no more. Um, I put I they're gonna try to get little Stevie in some sports. I love this family dynamics. I really do love them. Steve said, when you have a child with special needs, you have to believe that they can do anything. And Dr. Mimi said, you're going to have you're going to have some really, really tough days. Things are not going to be okay like you thought they would, but you are going to be okay. Steve affirms Dr. I thought that was a cute little scene. Very touching, good way to kind of encourage even people who are going through having children with autism. I know a lot of mothers, a lot of grandmothers, a lot of fathers with children with autism. I told my cousin who has on the spectrum. So I know what it looks like for her. And it's not an easy task. She needs the encouragement. I call her every year in around Mother's Day and we go do a tea. Girl, come get out this house. Oh, I don't know if I can find a babysitter. We'll find a babysitter together so you can get out this house and let your hair down. Let your hair down and take a deep breath and let's have some champagne. Let's have a mimosa. And we have a really good time. I always enjoy having them around. Next we run on over to the Harris, honey. We see the Harris family at the Eugene's new office space. They're moving his things into the new office. Toya says that the office is 20 minutes from their home, so Eugene will be closer to her. It will only take him 20 minutes to get home. I wonder if she's gonna time him. Anywho, girl. Uh Toya tells Eugene to stop picking his face, and he calls her bossy. So you're being really bossy. And then Toya sends the sons down to the truck to unload it and bring things into the new office space. And her children, her boys seem so well mannered. They really seem like well mannered children. And I love that for her to have kids that, do what you ask them to do. You ain't got to fuss and fight with them. They just automatically do it. I really think they have really good kids. They also start, Toya started complaining, but she really didn't get deep into her complaints. Next, we see Dr. Mimi and Dr. Heavenly on the phone. They're FaceTiming each other. Dr. Heavenly's at home, Mimi's driving, and they're talking about the Med Gala. Then the ladies start talking about TextGate. Dr. Mimi asks, "How much time do you have?" And they started sharing text messages from the thread. This is what I picked up on some of the text messages. It said, "Toya won't tell us anything. She changed the venue without letting them know." Toya is like, "Give me money and I will do with it what I want to. Don't ask me no questions." These are the text messages, y'all. The next one was, "Where is the money going?" And Dr. Mimi said, "I have 80 text messages to prove this is what happened." And I think that's crazy. And one thing Dr. Mimi said, y'all should be having board meetings. The voting board members need to vote on the budget, which is what you have to do when you're in a 501c3. You have to vote on the budget. You have to have subcommittees. You have to have a finance committee. You just can't be making, one person cannot make the decisions when it comes to a 501c3. There are rules in place for a reason. There has to be a board and there has to be people on the board. Even there really should be people that aren't even included in your core friend group. There should be maybe an attorney on the board, and should be somebody else on the board that's not included in your core friend group, which I think is asinine that they did. Live for Me said that was definitely the mess to part. Why was she not wanting to talk them people where they money was going? Why she want to tell them people where their money? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Why you just why you just taking people's money and not telling? That is bad business, period. Queen Script said this won't end well. I'm afraid it won't either if they don't correct some things. I think going forward, Dr. Jackie is really going to have to take a hold of this. She's going to have to form a board if they don't have one, and they're going to have to, in the future, if they want the Met Gala to continue, hire a event planner, take it out of the hands of anybody who has anything that can do with destroying the integrity of the group. That's okay, Living for Me. You're fine. Um, that will destroy the integrity of the group, and give it to someone who will do the legwork. Have a venue set in place months before it's time to do it, right? Not switching venues the last minute, which I thought was crazy. Mimi said you have to have subcommittees, finance committees, event planning, scholarship committees, and that's true. When you have a scholarship, you need a scholarship committee because someone needs to be reading essays, making sure that they're right. I just think there's just not enough. Um, there wasn't enough organization in this mess. Queen Script said, "Great idea with the sunlight." Yeah. Um, Heavenly said, "No, baby, we don't have any of that." Heavenly said, "I'm not accusing her of anything, but when you give your money, you're only asking for transparency." And I totally agree with that. I think when you give someone your money, you have a right to know what they're going to do with it, especially if it's going towards an event. What time is the event? Where's the event going to be held? What do I need to wear? Do I need to purchase anything besides what I gave? And I think that's where the ball was dropped. I believe Toya was so heavily into making sure that she had that she looked good and that the party was nice, that she dropped so many balls along the way. And you cannot say, "Oh, the party was great, so that makes up for all the screwing up." No, it doesn't, because chaos does not help anything going forward, because there has to be, when they sit down, they're gonna have to know where that money went. Trust me, they're gonna have to give an account of all of the money that was moved in and out of their account, if they had an account, which is probably a good question. Over at the new office, Toya and Eugene are talking about the Met Gala as well. Toya says she wanted to have the conversation each time she met with, every time she met up with the ladies, but she was always met with disrespect, cursing at her, telling her to shut up, being shut down. And then here comes Eugene claiming, He got to chime in, and he said she was trying to do this in Jamaica. This is what she was trying to do in Jamaica. She was trying to tell them, this is what I'm doing. This is what I need. Child, I am truly side-eyeing Eugene. Do you hear me? When I say I side-eyed him so hard this episode, because there's no way you believe that everybody's lying on your wife. There's no way you believe that. You don't even be in town. So I know you, only thing you know is what she's telling you. But there's no way everybody's lying on your wife. There's no way. There's no way. Now, the only two people who are saying this, that all this has happened, that this is what they wanted to do, was Toya and Eugene. That's it. This is when you send an email outlining the details. If no one wants to listen to you, you put it in black and white and you send out an email. This is what we're doing. And if they want to email you back, let me tell you something. I scan through a lot of emails I don't read. Child be like, shoot, this ain't worth clicks in the delete. Chapter 13, I got all kinds of stuff that I do with emails. But if people don't want to listen to you, put it in an email. It's there. If they read it and they want to respond, let them respond. But this is what we're going to do, and this is what I need. Y'all still gave this lady your money, and you didn't know what was going to happen. Off camera, Toya told Eugene to stop being a vagina. You think that's what he did, girl? You think? I don't know. Now, Toya said she has been clear and told the ladies from the beginning that this was a scholarship opportunity. Now, I don't know who she was clear to, but I don't think she was clear to the group. She said she was very clear, and she told the ladies that all the money that they collected via ticket sales will go towards the scholarships. I want y'all to hear that again. She told the ladies, I'm sorry, that any money, not all, any money that they collected via ticket sales would go towards the scholarship. She didn't say nothing about tables. She didn't say nothing about sponsorships, none of that. Just the other, right? Okay, moving on. Toy said, I'm not only looking to redeem myself, but I'm also trying to show them what I can do. So she had a vendetta to prove. She didn't care nothing about that Med Gala. Baby, all of this was to prove that I am Toya Bush Harris and I am capable of putting on a gala without any of y'all. I'm capable of doing it. And I don't care what none of y'all say. He came walking out with his chest out like a girl. You know, you're not gonna distract me with that bull swanky, girl. His chest can't never be out because his stomach poke out further than his chest. Anyway, what about other sales? Exactly. She said that the ticket sales will go towards the scholarship. So what did the art stuff go toward? Let's move on. Let's move on. Because we're gonna talk about this mess because that don't make no sense. Toy said, we talked about that. Giving scholarships to the medical community is a bonus within itself. This is what Toy is saying. She said, you would think they would say, oh my God, good job, Toya. None of that. Nobody said, hey, Toya, can I consult with you about where we are going to do this space for the event? Toya said, Mimi sent me a text. She said, she helped fund and find a 501c3 for Morehouse and has 10 years of experience. Yet there are text messages saying from Heavenly, Toya, you've taken us to a new low. This was from Heavenly. Then there was one from Quad. Toya, please give the people the documentation ASAP. The next one from Contessa. I have begged you for information and offered to help. And I put in quotations, Toya and Eugene are lying. They lying. They lying and they lying. And I'm going to, here's proof that they lying.
I have never asked you for anything. I've always told you I don't need any of your help. She had a diva.
One more time.
I have never asked you for anything. I've always told you I don't need any of your help. She had a diva.
This was 4 weeks prior to the event. Contessa asked her for, could I help you? But yes, she says, no one offered to help me. How is you cool? Ho, is you cool? Because something ain't right with you. Do we need to call the people with the paddy wagon? Because you tripping. You tripping, you tripping, you tripping. Symmetry says, so they only sold close to 70 tickets. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it said. When you do the calculations, she said she had already sold $10,000 worth of tickets. She said that she sold that the day that they were at the. Did she say that at the? She said that the day that they were at the gala, they were at the place getting ready to set up. She said that then I've already sold $10,000 worth of tickets by myself. That's what she said. What was the good budget? We don't know what the budget. We don't say that. We don't know what the budget was. But here's what I do know: Toya and Eugene are lying. They lying, and they sticking together, but they lie. Mimi said she has a problem with the leadership. Dr. Heavenly said it lacks of transparency, lack of communication. It's a lack of all of the above. But that is exactly who Toya is. She isn't transparent. She doesn't communicate, and she does bad business. And I said, Toya and Eugene get to decide who can come in and who can attend, and that is not good. That's not good for the group. That's not good for any of them. Toya didn't want the ladies involved. She just wanted their money. That's all it was. She did not want them to help her set up, pick out, pick nothing. She just wanted their money. We see Eugene. Hopefully, the people not in support don't show up. Now, she's already told that everybody's willing, they wanted to donate. Everybody's giving something, but Mimi and Steve. She's clearly already told Eugene that. So he knows that when he makes this statement, it says those not in support, hopefully they don't show up. And if they do, a matter of fact, if they did buy a ticket, they shouldn't be allowed to come in. These were his exact words, and I wrote them down verbatim. I said, this is premeditation of who can and cannot come into the event decided by two people instead of the group. Toya says she might strangle somebody at the Med Gala. This was premeditation. I don't care what nobody say. Eugene had already put in his mind, that he did not, was not going to be welcoming to Steve and Dr. Mimi. He had already put that in his mind. Live for Me says she wanted all the credit, and guess what? Exactly. She wanted all the credit. She already said that. She said that at the beginning. I want people to know who I am. Let me see, where was that? Her exact words. She said she wanted the people to know that who she was and that this was her, what she could do. I want you to know what I could do. Honey, I don't care what y'all talking about. I want them people to know what I can do. That I can put a good old show. Now you see, Contessa asked her for help, and they recorded her 4 weeks prior saying, I don't want your help. I don't want your help. I don't want you to do nothing for me. I want you to do nothing for this gala. I just want you to give me your money. And they gave her their money. Child, like a fool. Anyway, next over at the Whitmores, they have a family dinner do-over. And Cecil is in the kitchen cooking, is what, the scene opens up. The doorbell rings, and it's the Whitmore boys. Miles, he said he has nightmares about being back in his parents' home. And then Miles said they should mix up their seating assignments. He wasn't going to sit on the same side because he didn't want no problem. Simone apologized to Michael for cursing at him. And no, she said, I apologize to you for cursing at me, and then I cursed back at you. And then Michael apologized for cursing at his mom. Child, you know what? If I had cursed at my mama, I would have been I would have been at the dentist the next day trying to get some implants because she would have knocked out my whole front grill. My mama didn't play that. I don't know what kind of mamas y'all got around here, but my mama did not play that, grown or not. You might catch a shoe upside your head. You say the wrong thing. My mother did not play that stuff. Anywho, Cecil pipes up and says, let him finish. And Simone said, you didn't say nothing that night, so I want the same energy. Cecil then he apologizes as well. As a child, this family, throw them out with the bathwater. Throw all of them out because they cuckoo. Anyway, Michael said he don't want to live under his parents forever. He says he wants to make his parents happy and take them places and buy them things. He wants to take them places they've never seen before. We see Michael tell Simone to bring it in and he gives her some sugar. Thought that was cute. That was a cute little scene from his little bed behind. Miles says he understands where Simone is coming from. She's been working hard for so long. You know what Simone said on Watch What's Happening Live this past Sunday? She said that Miles was the perfect son. She said he did not hardly ever, do anything wrong. She said he was really, really a good child. You could tell he's real quiet. Seemed like he's a little camera shy, but she said he really, really is a good kid. And I believe it. The Met Gala was at the Sinclair Event Center. The theme for the Met Gala is Living Art. So we're at the Met Gala. It's the day of the Met Gala. Let's get on in here. They have the artists doing live paintings. A lady named uh, Karama was the owner of the art gallery that brought the artist in. Somehow, Toya thought that bragging about her makeup artist doing circus face painting on her was a go, was like the biggest thing you see. Baby, this is a mess. This is a mess. My grandbaby do that when we go to the carnival, baby. They paint all over their face, make butterflies, everything. A mess, a mess, a mess, a mess, a mess. Anywho, we see Contessa getting ready. She puts on this red dress that's cut out in the buttock area. Girl, put that dress back in the closet. I love the bob though. I love that bob. That dress, put that back up. Put it back in the closet. And I believe Scott told that. And she bent over because she was trying to talk to Scott, and her boob popped out. And he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" So I love that. I love that little scene with her and Scott. It seemed make them really seem personable. Contessa tells Scott about the issues surrounding the Met Gala. Toya disclosed the address of the Met Gala less than 48 hours before the event to the collective. Can you imagine only getting to know where you're going to be going tomorrow? Right before she said less than 48 hours. She was disclosed that. Scott asked about what about those who bought tickets? How will they know where to go? And Contessa said, how can you know where to go if there's no address? I totally agree with that. Toya is still pumping herself up for how she treated the people who donated to this event. Toya said she sold $10,000 worth of tickets. So she talked about that when they first got to the event center. Her and this goofy guy right here in his I forgot what he say, Fresh Prince of Bel Air outfit. I don't know what that is. It was a hot piece of garbage. That's what it looked like. I ain't never seen nothing look so garbagey. Looked like someone popped Toya with a splatter Play-Doh. Worse than that. Or a mess, a mess, a mess. Anywho, Toya was bragging about the $5,000 scholarships as though she was giving away more than two. When she said, we got $5,000 scholarships, I thought, man, they're going to give away a few because this, they've been collecting money, yada, yada, yada. She says the Corps gave $2,500 each. Jackie, she put pictures up. Jackie, Quad, Simone, Toya, Heavenly, and Contessa. $2,500 each equals $15,000. So she got $15,000 from the core group. The newbies, she say, bought tickets. Angel, Brandy bought tickets the day of. So I'm not sure if she was confronted at the door and bought them at the door or if she purchased them prior to. I kind of feel like they may have confronted her at the door. We just didn't see it. Production only showed us Mimi and Steve. But she made it very clear to us that Mimi and Steve gave nothing. You said, why Eugene look like one of the Wayans, girl? You don't like that picture? I think it's very befitting. I wouldn't even say he looked like the Wayans. They look better than that child. A hot garbage mess. Anyway, Contessa says she is stressed out. They asked questions. They got no information. They were told, all I want you to do is give money. Contessa said Toya wanted some shine, but when it comes to philanthropy, you have to get out of your own way. They show a clip of Toya. I have never asked you for anything and have always told you I don't need your help, which is that video I just posted. This one right here, where she said, I've never asked you for anything.
Never asked you for anything. I've always told you I don't need any of your help.
And Contessa said Toya wanted to put her stamp on it. You can all be my minions, but this is my shit. That's what she said. We see Curtis and Jackie. They're on their way to the venue. Curtis says, we might see some fireworks today. Jackie said, we might. Curtis did say that it does have Jackie's name on it, and that Jackie should. I was getting from that like Jackie should really be cautious of what goes down because your name is riding on this. Jackie said that Toya is taking the bull by the horns, and Jackie, she looked so nervous on that ride over to the venue. So I bet she didn't know what she was about to step into. Curtis said he hopes she brings the ladies together tonight. And Jackie said, well, there lies the problem. It's time for the third annual Med Gala, and we see Eugene walking around looking like a clown, baby. Yes, walking around looking like a clown. This is what he had on as he was walking around looking like a clown. He definitely was doing all the clown behaviors. He was acting like a clown, probably smelling like one as well. Chat, I'm moving around. Anyway, um, next we see Simone. We see Dr. Simone and Cecil arrive. Simone looked like a big yellow bow. The dress, the color was pretty. I didn't like the front of it, but the dress from the back with the lacing going up, the big bow, I liked it until we got to the front. She had something like a big glitter thing going down the front. I didn't like it. I didn't like none of that. I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. No, 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 no. Anyway, so Simone said everything looked beautiful as well. Simone said that the check that she blindly wrote went to good use. And Simone tells Toya, you did that, girl. You did that. I'm sorry, I skipped over. We see Dr. Jackie and Curtis arrive, and Jackie says it looks beautiful. I think she was really surprised how well it looked. Because when she came in, she was like taking in all of the ambience. She was looking from side to side. Eugene rushes up, grabs her arm, and takes her, let me, come on over here and let's greet with the guest. And so that was a good thing. Anywho, next, we see Dr. Mimi and Steve arrive. Mimi is saying that it looks nice. She came and she said, this looks nice. There's a lady at the door asking for a QR code. Mimi said they are special guests of Dr. Walters. The woman told them to wait, and she went and got Eugene. Now, why the hell she went and got Eugene? Because this is not a Eugene, this is not his event. It's not his event. I'm sorry. This is the women. This is the women's event. They put this on. They throw the money out there. This is their event. Men, stay out of women's business. Ooh, please stay out of this because he was irritating me really, really bad. Anyway, this is not, like I said, this is not a Eugene event. Mimi said she didn't have to buy a ticket last year. And I said, was this not explained to the group? Was it not explained to them that they had to purchase a ticket to get in? And if she was a member of Dr. Jackie's group, did Dr. Jackie have a table set up for members of the cast? And if she didn't have to pay last year, what was the change from this year? And why would you take a preference to get $100 ticket and you have art that you're going to want people to purchase or use as donation? I just think it's crazy. I didn't think they thought it through. She went and got Eugene because she was told to when they arrived. I believe it. I believe that, in my opinion, too, girl. IMO too. Put me on the side. Put a 2 on the side of that IMO. IMO too. I totally agree with that. I believe that is the only reason why she did that. I don't believe she did that for nobody else. I believe that was strictly for them. But I also believe, reason why I said I believe that she also did that to Brandy was because of the statement that Simone said, and I'm going to get into that. Steve said when he told them he was not donating, there was no communication about him needing to purchase a ticket. And I love the fact that Steve took the bull by the horns and he ran to Eugene with that bull. He ran right to him and go. He didn't bypass nobody else. He went to you. Eugene asked the Sanders if they were going to buy a ticket. They said the tables were, this is what he said. They said the tables they pay for the event, but the tickets go directly to the students. Now you tell me what common sense that make. The tables pay for the event. How did the tables pay for the event? Because Toya, if my memory serves me correctly, said that the donations from the core group paid for the event. Now Eugene rewrote history and said the tables paid for the event. Man, if you don't go sit his wobbly Teletubby ass somewhere and just rest his feet, you're doing too much, little boy. Doing too much, and you're not making no sense. You're not making no sense. He said, but the ticket sales go directly to the students. And I put in my notes that makes 0 sense, honey. You're not making no sense. He said people who purchase tables are purchasing, I would think, for a group of tickets, right? So if I purchase a table, normally 6 to 8 people sit at the table. Something if the table's bigger, maybe 10. Say I purchase those, I expect to have that amount of people come sit at my table. I will tell you something. Gail Lewis was at the event. She was standing when Simone and Cecil came in. She was standing behind Eugene. She was waving at Cecil. I guarantee you, she was their guest, and she would have sat at the table with them, as well as Michael and his girlfriend. I guarantee you, those tickets paid for that event. But these people, this was a working event for the core group. This was a working event for the women who are part of Married to Medicine. This, again, it makes 0 sense. Eugene said Steve was in the NFL and everyone who watched him paid to come in. Let's slow your roll here, buddy. If my friend has a box, his box seats, I'm telling you from experience. If my friend got box seats and they offer me one of the seats in their box, guess what? Someone else has paid for me to get into the game. Apparently, you ain't been to many games because I'm telling you how it works. If my friend owns the box seats, if you ever been to a game, you know what box club seat look like. They give you a ticket to their club. You go up, you present your ticket, and you go on in. Guess what? Someone else paid for you to have that seat. They just do. That's how that works. So I don't understand. His analogy was dumb. It was stupid, and he been saying a whole bunch of stupid stuff all night. But we're gonna let Eugene get by right here at this moment. Anyway, Steve tells Eugene, you are aware that I gave $5,000 last year. And then he says last year's prices are not today's prices. Okay, boy. Then we see Dr. Mimi send the money to the attendant. She asked the lady, who does this go to? So I even wonder whose account was the money going to? And I really wish I could ask Dr. Mimi that. Child, I might have to send her an email and see if she will come over here and talk to Lady Rose. Will you come talk to me just for a minute? Because I got some questions. Anywho, let me understand you. So if I buy a table, invite guests, they have to purchase a ticket to sit at said table. That sounds like a lie because I saw Gail Lewis and I'm sure she was a guest of Simone and Cecil. But we did hear them say that Simone had bought 10 tickets. So that may be it. Anyway, we see Dr. Damon and Dr. Heavenly arrive. Next, Brandy and Shamar. Brandy was dressed very beautifully. I love that black dress. I love the shoulders. I thought it was a beautiful dress. You said one scholarship was their donations last year. Quick script, explain that. So it came from donations that they did last year? So it wasn't even taken from tickets from this year. Child, baby, when I tell you they could lie, I'm telling you, everything that Eugene and Toya did and was saying at this event was a lie. I just know a lie when I hear it. I know a lie. I know a lie when I hear it. Anyway, Toya calls Heavenly and Dr. Damon tacky because, of course, Simone runs over there and she goes, "You're gonna be pissed as soon as you see Heavenly's dress." And I thought Heavenly's dress wasn't any different than anybody else's dress. I saw none of them rocking a dress that looked like they were living art. Even Toya's dress was a plain old, looked like a maxi dress, to be honest with you. And she had her face painted. But Toya wasn't dressed extravagant at all. At all. The only one who may have looked like living art was Brandy. And I would give Contessa a second just because she brought that frame in. But the rest of them, child, no. Symmetry said last year's prices aren't this year's prices. So why was the scholarship money on $10,000 compared to what was raised the previous year? Come on now. Because they raised 60 something $1,000 last year. And remember, Phaedra wrote a check to make it 100,000. So you're just dealing with a whole bunch of cheapskates is what it looked like to me. Or Toya wasn't willing to put in the work. If you're gonna be the chairperson, put in the work. Get some people on your team that's gonna help you get rid of these tickets. I don't know. This just sounds like a whole lot. Steve and Mimi was 5,000. Do I freeze them out this year? That's what I said. The probability of them buying something that would help with the scholarships, even for next year, was highly probable because you have a group who paid $5,000 for a bowl. They just wasn't going to give to something that they had no idea about how it was going to work, where was the money going. They had already made that very plain that Mimi felt like she had been excluded and she did not want to give. That's fair. That's fair. That's very, very fair. Scratch a lie, find a thief. Can't trust her exactly at all. Yeah. Um, you said, oh, an art auction would have worked. That's what I thought. That's or a silent auction. Get out and ask people for donations. Let me tell you, when I was in high school, middle school and high school, I went to a school that every year we had a big auction. That auction paid for us to go to conventions. We went to New York, we went to Flagstaff, Arizona, we went to California, we went to Washington State, we went to wherever there was a ACE convention, we went. But we raised money to do it. You know what we did? Our principal would give us a receipt book, and on it was stamped our 501c3 number. I went to a private school, right? And we would go through the city. We had some donate us a tractor. We had the travel agency in the city donated us a airfare for two people to go somewhere. We had jewelry. I'm not talking about no fake jewelry. I'm talking about gold, diamonds. Um, because these people can write this stuff off, and they're always looking for a write-off. When I tell you we raised some big money, and this was back in the late 80s, early 90s. Child, please. It's some money out there. You just gotta know how to get it. And now, next thing, you got to get you some better friends, some better doctors. If the black community want to do it, bring them other ones in there, because baby, they give and they don't even have to be pushed or propped to do it. They just do it. Anyway, let me move forward before I go on the tangent. Um, we was talking about Toya Collie heavily and Damon Tacky, which I thought was distasteful. This was an opportunity for them all to try to get along at least for one night. Yet she has on face paint and looks like she's at a carnival. But about Heavenly and Dr. Anyway, we see Contessa and Scott arrive, and Contessa has an empty frame. I love that idea, the living art. She had on a beautiful gown, and then she had that gold frame. I thought that was super cute. Then they show them serving Wingstop wings. Child, somebody call the police. Call the police. Call them right now. Somebody call 911. Call them. Why are you serving Wingstop wings at a gala? Dr. Heavenly said the gala looks beautiful and she expected that. But how much did Toya pay is what she wanted to know. That's what she wanted to know. She said, don't nobody want face paint all over their makeup at all. At all. I remember my daughter, when she turned, I want to say 16, 15 or 16, I took her to get her makeup done, right? That was one of her gifts for her birthday. And this lady goes, well, how do you want it done? And the lady had butterflies, just like Toy's makeup, but it was on her eyeshadow, right? So I said, I don't want it to look like that. I didn't mean to hurt the lady's feelings, but baby, she's looking at me. I was like, not like that. I just want her to have a natural look and then let her guide you through the rest. But baby, don't go to the MAC counter, baby. They'll do anything. Anyway, Quad looks beautiful with her fascinator on. I thought she looked really beautiful, but Quad rarely gets it wrong. Quad said she was excited to see what Toya had spent everybody's money on. Steve said he wanted to go talk to Eugene, so he got Eugene and they went to talk alone. He said he didn't like how he was handled. And baby, I put in my notes, Eugene is a piece of shit for how he treated the Sanders family. He is. And it's not that because I like the Sanders, it's because he was gaslighting. He was gaslighting them, gaslighting them. You cannot expect people to do something that you have not made them aware of, which is why I believe that Brandy and her husband also had not purchased tickets. We just did not see it on camera. The producers showed us Dr. Mimi and Steve because they know there's an issue between Toya and Dr. Mimi and Steve. So I believe that was the whole reason why we saw that, because of what Simone said made me believe it even more. Anyway, Steve said, I don't address women, because Toya runs over there to say something. And so he said, I don't address women. Toya said, well, take that to the back, baby. She might should have been eating some tooth and nails at that point, because how do you talk to people like that? But Toya's rude, disrespectful, and Toya been messy from day one. She been messy from day one. We ain't gonna forget. Our scholarship gala tickets are $125, and there is a whole damn buffet included and several types of entertainment. Exactly. You know what, Symmetry? I went to a gala. I want to say it was close to the end of last year with some friends of mine, girls. Purchased a table, and they had entertainment. The food, top notch. They had a buffet. There was some singers on stage. And they had a silent auction as well. They did have a silent auction. They had a 360 a photograph booth. Then they had a lady that was just a photographer that had people just taking pictures. And it was a beautiful event. In fact, we were talking about doing it again this year. Beautiful event. The way Eugene kept pointing his finger at Steve really ticked me off. Me too. But when Steve does it to him at the reunion, he get in his feelings. Baby, Steve should have got him put that finger in his face to see how far he would go with him. I would have. Steve tall. Eugene's a midget. Maybe I would have stood over him like a tower. What you gonna do about it, punk? What you gonna do? You gonna get up? You gonna fight? What you wanna do? Because I'm gonna point this finger and ain't nothing you gonna do about it. Even though the rest of the men was like, no, 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 no. This is why it's important that men do not get in the women's business. Because now you got the men, man. Yeah, we will have all of that. Exactly. That's what most galas do. I ain't never been to a gala and just walk around with no chicken wings. Now I done been to a couple of galas that had what they call entertainment hour or cocktail hour, I think is what they call it. And they'll walk around with hors d'oeuvres, but I ain't never seen no chicken wing. I'm being honest. I done seen some shrimps. I done seen some little boats with some stuff in it, but I ain't never seen no chicken wing. I'm being very honest. Eugenia would have peed on himself. He would have. He should have. Because he tried to punk him. You want to punk? Let's punk. Let's play this punk game and see who gonna be the punk. Anywho, well, in the words of giving you the real tea, punk. Let's see who's gonna be the punk. Cause I'm gonna stand over you until you get up off your seat. Ain't no way I would have sit there and took that from him. Anyway, let's move on. Um, Toya is concerned about the outfits that Steve wears. She says that his outfits cost more than $5,000. And then Eugene chimes in with his checkered outfit on, and he says they cost more than $5,000 a day. Why are you worried? Why are you worried? I saw somebody post in the Facebook group chat yesterday that Steve only played for 1 year and was cut. Baby, Steve done did more than play football. You better read his resume. Google his name. Google his name, and you'll see what Steve has done. Steve has a very good resume, and he also has a degree. He also has a degree, and he has worked, and I'm sure he's invested his money well. That's why they drive. They came on the show driving a G-Wagon. It ain't something they just acquired. Steve been wearing Louis Vuitton. Y'all the one just noticed it. We don't see Mimi wearing Louis Vuitton like that. We see Steve doing it. Y'all got a problem with everybody that do something that y'all ain't doing. Your husband want to walk around in them Steve Madden outfits or Stacey Adams outfit, whatever he do. Girl, leave that man alone. He not bothering nobody. Toya said no one can come through the doors unless they bought a ticket. Dr. Mimi said that may not be true based on my conversation I had with Brandy. Toya said Brandy bought her ticket today. Simone bought tickets. This is what Toya just screams out. I said this mess was unorganized. All of it. Eugene said that he's sorry that Steve felt disrespected. But when I tell you these people are a joke. A joke. We see King arrives and Quad runs to greet him. She tells him he looks amazing. And he does look very nice in his tuxedo. Quad says she loves Kirk, but he frustrates her to no end. Jackie and Curtis gave King and Quad an apology. They called them together. And I love the fact they were in a circle. It was just them. They blocked out the rest of the room, just kind of huddled up. And they talked. I think that was a beautiful moment. When I say I loved the fact that Curtis was man enough to apologize. And I really felt like Quad accepted it. I think that it was accepted from Quad and King. Kurt said that they never want to hear that rhetoric coming from Curtis again. And I totally agree with them. I totally agree with them. Queen Script says symmetry. That's what I'm saying. I've planned events. Good is right up there with the location. Recalls she bought the food from Whole Foods or Publix. Girl, I think she just had Wingstop drop off some food. I'm being honest. It was probably some French fries floating around somewhere. I promise you. It was some seasoned fries floating around. Not good. Food is right up. Yeah. The thing is that you can get hors d'oeuvres anywhere. There are caterers all over the country. This place she had it at, those Sinclairs, I want to say it's a pretty big event, and I think they have their own kitchen. So they may have cooked those wings. Who knows where those wings came from? Simone said, Toya, um, Simone told Toya, she said, you put on a spectacular event. This was an example that their money was well spent and not to worry about what nobody in the corner has to say. And then she looked at her and she said, don't charge another person a ticket in this group, which lets me know, which further lets me know that it was more than Dr. Mimi and Steve that Toya tried to charge. Don't charge another person a ticket in this group. I don't know if anybody else took it that way, but that's the way I took it. That made it sound like Toya had did that to more than Steve and Mimi. We just only saw Steve and Mimi. Anyway, let the defensive wall down and bring everybody in. And I said this should have been said from the jump. This is a working event for this group of people. All of them are being paid by whatever the production company is to produce a movie or show for Bravo. And you tell me that you thought it was cool to charge these people to come to work. Child, moving forward, $150. You rather have $300 than for them to buy a piece of art that they may would have spent $10,000 on and would have been able to give two people $10,000 next year since you only gave people 10. You raised apparently 25,000 and gave 10,000 in scholarships. The rest of it you used to have a party. You to have a party, child. $5,000 don't go too far at school. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It don't go too far at the college level, at the collegiate level. It just doesn't. Um, they had a group handout. They as a group handed out the scholarship to a single mom in medical school, Bethany Dunlap, and then the other lady's name was Morgan Love Brooks. Dr. Heavily wanted to have a few words, so they gave her the mic. And Dr. Heavily actually gave Toya her props. Dr. Heavily said after she got through and walked out the stage, they saw her in the confessional. Heavily said, if I had to give Toya a grade, I would give her an F. And you hear the music screw for conduct because she was a total ass this whole time. She said, but the grade for the whole event would be an A plus. It actually came out very well. Then old Eugina gave Toya some flowers, which is what we see here. Contessa also gave her props at the end. She said she was proud to be a part of the group. And we see Michael Whitmore was there with his girlfriend. He danced with Simone. Michael told Simone, I'm not gonna speak out loud, but you gotta read my mind. You know who we didn't say a thing to. And Simone said, I didn't say nothing either to her either. Then she corrected herself and said, I did say I ain't down with I'm gonna tell you this right here. I ain't down with dragging your kids into your drama. I ain't down with dragging your kids into your mess. I ain't down with your kids being a part of the drama that you got going on in your life. I'm not down with that. I don't like it. I despise it. Miss me with that one. I think you're a low class woman if you allow your son to be a part of your mess. You still go speak to this Heavenly. You know that? You still go speak to Dr. Heavenly. You let me and Dr. Heavenly have our disagreement, but you still go speak to Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly ain't said nothing about it. So why is Michael involved in? Girl, that's right. That right there shows your maturity level. And it's in the trash. Trust me, in the garbage. Um, Heavily, baby, she don't care. She comes right on over and asks, can she dance with Cecil? Then she told Simone, you can go dance with my husband if you want to. Quad asked King to dance. He said, no, not right now. The producer asked Quad, what does the future hold for her? And Quad said, I ain't got no time to waste. It might be King. It could be somebody else. You never know. And that was the end of Married to Medicine season 12. This season has been good. It has been good. Symmetry said, I ain't down with that either. That's me. AD said, I agree. But when I tell you, when he said that pissed me off so bad. I had to turn my head. I was like, what? Pause the TV. Like, she got her kids in her mess. Who does that? What mature adult do you know that involves their children and they're a mess. I don't know of any, not any with good sense. But you also let him cuss at you. Because I would have put him at my house after he cussed at me. You got to go, buddy boy. It's been nice having you over here, but you can't sit in my house and put your feet under my table and cuss at me and I ain't gonna pay your rent no more. You have to find you somebody else to pay your rent if you're gonna be cussing at me. But you let him cuss at you, you pay his bills, you buy him a new car, and then he helps you fight your battles with your friend. Aren't you the model mother? You should get mother of the year. Live for me, say a petty heifer. Exactly. Definitely that. You guys, I really enjoyed season 12 of Married to Medicine. It has been a joy to review it. It really, really has. And we're gonna be staying tuned for the next two episodes of the reunion. And hopefully we can enjoy the reunion. We only got two more episodes and it'll be a wrap with that. There is a show that I was reviewing about some pastors in Atlanta, and I think I saw that they're back on YouTube with, I think I saw there's four episodes, so I'm gonna watch them and I'm gonna go back to reviewing them. But I've enjoyed Married to Medicine. I'm sure the reunion is going to be something to watch. Normally they hype it up and it don't really be all that great, but hopefully they've hyped this up and it's gonna be good. Hopefully. Um, I don't believe that Eugene is out mess with nobody. Now he may have got fired from a job. Honey, a lot of us done got fired from a job. If you live longer than 40 years, you've been fired from a job. Maybe two of them. But I don't think that's anything that's a bad thing. You get fired, just get fired. You move on with life. Good God. I got fired from McDonald's. Shoot. Because I didn't want to go to work. I hated McDonald's. So I stopped going in. So they fired me. That's life. You move on. So we don't think that was a thing to throw in anybody's face. But yeah, we see Heavenly throws it out at the reunion. We gonna see what they're gonna bring to us. I really am ready to see Steve put his foot out of the way of Eugenia's behind. I want to see that. I want to see it in living color. I want to see it real loud, and I want to see where it's gonna go. I believe you said go to time out later. I believe that Steve has a valid complaint and concern. I like the fact that he called Eugene Bush instead of Harris because he acted like that Toya's the husband. Um, I really, again, I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see this reunion. I am. And hopefully Steve would stand 10 toes down. I don't know how tall Steve is. I think he's like 6'5". Hopefully he'll stand 10 toes down in his behind and just lay it out for him. Because I'm sick of Eugene. Eugene has done the most in season 12. He has. But as I look back through all of the other seasons, Eugene been doing the most in all of the seasons. He just done got a little bit bolder. And I think he should be stopped. Eugene been trying to be. I just showed us earlier, season 10, Med Gala, and he over there raising his hand. He just got to say something. He want to be involved so bad with the women's business. Po Eugene, will y'all please make him a housewife or a married to medicine wife or something? Get him on there. Just get him on there because he wants to be a part or whatever y'all got going on. He ain't got nothing going on, so he want to be a part of that. That's it. Anywho, y'all, I have enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hope y'all have a good night's rest and wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. All right. Bye bye.